Hello, fuck cape shit, and welcome to another Shittywebcomics Weekly, brought to you by our subscribed star
Yay,
backers.
hello.
Yay,
Yay,
yay.
hello. And
And
fuck cape shit.
and speaking of yay, I've already forgot the name of this comic. I know it's Booty Quest or something. I don't know.
Booty Royale.
Booty Royale. I won't
Which
go down
actually has
without a fight.
it's fucking another Japanese name of some shit, I don't know.
Some kind of thing.
Fury Idol Jigo Cookie Duke Cookie Juke.
Cookie joke. And I'm just doing that. And speaking of doing that, but
Speaking of doing that,
our episodes are brought to you by our subscribe star backers because of people like you. um,
be friendly people like you.
Donating on our subscribe star helps support us, helps us do these videos, and gives you access to the deep lore that everyone else will be saying in the next several years. And you don't have to take my word for it. Go back through our archives. You'll see the stuff we said is now stuff that everyone else has started saying recently. In many examples, so many examples that it would take several episodes just to list all of the examples. The easier way to learn what those examples are to just go watch our old videos on our subscribe star. But for
so
today,
many people are like, how can you say this or make this claim?
Because
it's already covered in one of our old videos.
But also because we can point to it and say, here, this is why. See this video? That's why. Like, we've had people be like, what are you guys talking about? And it's like, here's this video where we said it. And it's like a video from 2018. And they're like, holy shit, you guys actually did say that. And then fucking all of a sudden, the NPC shell breaks off of their face. And the feeling Wojak but beneath appears.
The feeling of Wojak, the actual human being with a soul. Something that's one of the ways you can actually get a soul. If you don't have a soul, listen to our videos, and you will gain a soul.
Yes, only 4 million people on the planet have souls. The remaining 6.66 billion people. Maybe it was 40 million people have souls.
I don't know. It was 400 million. Otherwise, the math doesn't make sense.
Okay.
It would be like another. It would be like another fucking few hundred million that just aren't even either. Not soulless, but also don't have souls either. It's like a fucking math error.
Maybe some people actually should be considered a living math error, of course. But
yes, even worse than being soulless.
If you don't want to be one of these 6.66 billion people on the planet who don't have souls, who were simply born without even an extra soul to be given, watch our videos. You will be gifted one's free soul from heaven.
Or just donate to us.
Yeah, just do it anyways. Hey, look, just do it anyways. So, Booty Royale, as we started covering last week, delightful, objectifying. And how objectifying is it? Well, this is the first chapter, and here's her. I had to just easily censoring things, not even because it was very graphic necessarily.
Just to be careful for ourselves.
Yeah.
Because the channel YouTube is being very draconian. You could even say YouTube is being so Nazi-like. They're like Jewish Nazis. Yeah. It's like the worst kind of Nazi, a Jewish Nazi.
The worst of both worlds. So she's apparently enrolled in some kind of martial arts competition, but has, as described now, the all-idol black belt 100-man open. If she loses, she gets gang-banged by 100 men. She says, I'll do it. And then do it. And then so all the guys just start stripping her. Now, I don't know if that's actually happening or...
No, that's a fucking... I guess because you didn't read this and I did. It's basically like an example. It's like one of those dream sequence fantasy example panels.
One of those, if she doesn't win, this is what's gonna happen to her. So it's like the guy's pulling her clothes off. Just to show what it will look like so the reader can enjoy the visual of it. But then let's backtrack and rewind, record scratch.
Era. Era.
Era.
Fucking wickety wick. Fuck, you know what I'm
Juya.
wick saying?
Fuck bitches. Fuck shit. Are you doing a know what I'm census?
Aside from fucking J-Rock.
J-Rock, yeah, from Trailer Park Boys. But anyways,
Classic.
The last panel, and to establish just in case, this is read right to left in the Japanese authentiku Japanese style. But the last panel says, an army of bukkake specialists eager for a strong woman. They'll attack and attempt to make you submit. The moment you fail, the nightmarish legal rape begins. Which, almost like it's a new spin on an old classic, legal rape. It's rape when it's legal. Because she's agreeing to do it, it's rape, but also it becomes legal.
It technically counts as consent. I mean, this is Japanese porn after all. Of course, that's going to happen.
I mean, the thing that's supposed to happen to her is Japanese. This is not an actual hentai comic per se. Hey, what do you think of my Latin? But this is more of an ecchi comic, which is
my Japanese, my Latin, and my Japanese. Yeah, I'm so good. I'm multilingual.
It's soft core, suggestive. This one's heavily suggestive, so I definitely wouldn't say this is work safe. It's not even close to work safe. Although the stuff I blanked out wasn't actual nudity, it was just suggestive stuff.
It's just in case.
Yeah.
It looks great, though. That's one of the things, unfortunately, that all of you are missing out on now, is that it's really great art.
Although it is pretty easy to go find, I'm sure.
It's called hentai, and it's art.
Yes. One other thing that's almost irrelevant to point out, but if we could actually critically analyze the art style of manga, and this is something we've been saying, again, for years and years, going back before our previous channel, even, that got false flagged by people in Comicsgate. Ethan Van Sciver paid people to false flag our previous channel.
Because they're weak. They are objectively wrong.
They're weak. And of course, we also, yes, we do have evidence proving that, and we've shown it already many times. But the first panel alone, but also the next one, the command of facial expressions. This is something we've talked about a lot of times before, where just
one page is so great at that.
Yeah, just simple shapes communicate perfectly a variety. The second panel, where she says, "I'll do it," she looks both fearful and fearful, nervous, and attempting to be positive and to be happy.
She's in high spirits.
Yeah, she's attempting to sort of hide it. That's actually a complex emotion to portray on the face, is attempting to hide an emotion. So she's trying to appear to be eager.
Each one of these panels, actually, you can definitely cover. You can go over every single face in all these panels, and you can get something from that. Like the very first panel, she's sweating, she looks nervous but happy. When you know the plot, she actually
looks like she was just
as efficiently as possible.
Yeah, it looks like she was just taken by surprise, like she just heard what's going to happen if she loses. That's what her facial expression looks like. And again, how do you draw that in an American comic? The answer is you don't, because they don't have a stylistic understanding of how to portray that facial expression.
How you do that is you trace over existing pornography of women having or faking orgasms from 3D pig porn.
Yeah.
Just like fucking, I forget who it was
Greg
that did
Land,
that.
I think, was accused of that anyways. Which, to be honest, he probably resented Cape Shit. He probably did that because he resented Cape Shit. Maybe he was secretly based in
I absolutely don't blame him for a second for that. But also at the same time, his art was pretty shitty looking.
Yeah.
But he was still better at expression than so many others in Cape Shit.
Yeah. Another thing, though...
That's probably why they accused him of it. It's like your facial expressions are too expressive, they're too distinct, and they're too clearly communicate the emotion of what's supposed to be happening, so you're clearly tracing off porn.
Or a lot of the times it did just look like I
I
think
mean,
there was
yeah,
one of
it did.
Superman looking like he was having an orgasm. And it's like, what
Yeah,
the
it was
hell?
it was kind of unpleasant to look at because
Yes,
like there are children reading this too. What the
yeah.
fuck? But
That
also
that's cape
in the
shit for
first
you.
panel, yeah, in the first panel here, also the fucking guys in the background, all their eyes are blacked out, kind
Yeah,
of like skulls,
that's
and
an
it's like,
interesting.
oh,
Yeah, that's an interesting stylistic choice because it blanks out their not their expression so much, but it sort of blanks out their personality to make them menacing. And it's a very simple thing. It's just spotting blacks over the eyes, essentially. And
but they're all still distinct. It's
yeah,
not like this was copy pasted, like this was like like fucking well,
they don't
anyone who
have
copy
same
paste
face.
art. Yeah, they still don't even have same face, and this is anime. How is it that American comics can't compete with that?
Even
It's like,
that's
oh shit.
the way they draw the sound effect. The well, it says "bam," but you see in Japanese, um, the
Even
Japanese
if you
version
don't
of "bam."
understand the Japanese characters for the sound effect, you see by the shape it's making
Yeah, it
what it's
looks like
supposed to represent.
a menacing sound effect. Like even if you didn't have it translated, it would look intense because it has the edges being sort of scratched, sort of back and forth. It's that motion blur effect in a way, as if the sound effect was zooming in.
That's a
And
good reason to use extra lines in
yes,
work, as opposed to, say, a certain dumbass shit frog comic
yeah.
where it's just
Well,
a
because
bunch of webbing.
notice the fucking background. There isn't one. It's just basically, it's not necessarily even speed lines. It is kind of the
It's
speed
almost like
line
it's like a thin
principle.
shadow. It's like a
Yeah,
thin shadow in the background.
yeah, where it's like the idea of the darkening of the scenery itself, or in a way a sinking sensation, like she is sinking and being surrounded by these guys very suddenly, and that effect is kind of generally sold by just a bunch of lines in the
Yeah,
background that are
very,
sort
very
of going
straightforward.
up from the
The
ground.
work is put into the characters, the bodies, where it belongs.
Yeah. But also, that's the thing is that if these guys had more distinct faces, that would actually draw away from the effect of the menace of them being there or their intent, even. But yeah, the way that there's kind of a motion blur effect on the sound effect is again very simple and a great understanding of how to not just how to make your sound effect pop better, which American comics don't do. They usually just type it in and just have some goofy font. Like the BAM that's there is an example of that. It doesn't
Yeah,
sell
that's
it
a font.
nearly as much.
Although that's a good like font choice that they used for that, so that you can kind of tell what it's supposed to be
Yeah, it's
saying or
basically,
sounding
yeah,
like.
the point of the BAM even being there in that way is just to translate. It's not to try to recreate the effect. What it creates the effect the best is the original sound effect. That's why they left the drawing of the original sound effect, because becomes part of the art. Whereas in Cape Shit, sound effects are more like an embarrassing, goofy Captain America, I command you to wank kind of thing.
That's what I'll always be reminded of. And that's how it works in a lot of
That is
ape shit.
in American comics, that's how sound effects come across. Whereas in manga, the sound effect is so directly tied to the art. It's so intrinsically tied to the art itself, to the rest of the visuals, that if you were to get rid of the sound effect, even without translating it, it sort of lessens the overall art in a lot of cases. Um, so again, that's something that manga just has a better understanding of, and it's a shame because I would like it if American comics did that well. And
This is also more
some
relatable.
are learning, but not through Cape Shit.
One of
Anyone
the key
who came
issues
from
of
Marvel
American
and
Cape Shit
DC doesn't
also
understand
that
this.
will
They suck
always
at
be
it.
true about Cape Shit is the fact that they're all basically like extremely preachy parables that are impossible to relate to. Captain America, I command you to wank, and it's like fucking. I don't identify with any of these
Yeah, it's
characters.
low IQ, multicolored shit for grown-up children.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's not
super
my opinion.
shallow.
That's the opinion of other actual great Western comic creators who have made more lasting works than most of the stuff in Marvel.
This,
and
on
DC.
the other hand, is fucking a young girl idol, a model who wants to fucking get into modeling and make money with her body, and it's like, oh no, she's going to be pressured into a 100-man gangbang, fucking by surprise. Oh no! It's like I immediately get this. I don't even have to be a grill. And it's like, I see where they're going with this. And I can't wait to see where this goes.
I can see her having motivation to win and triumph, have a personal triumph over the overwhelming and outnumbering odds.
I understand this perfectly. I can identify with the struggle. The struggle snuggle.
Yeah, but also not just that, but the idea that she would not only be raped, but it would be a legal form of rape.
It's totally okay. Well, it was the fucking Cumtown thing where it's like, we don't even have a word for this. It hasn't been invented yet.
It's something, back in the 1970s, we don't even have a word for this yet.
It's just called sex, but you're having a wedlock. It's really your fault.
Yes. You should be taking the blame. Yeah, that was the Chris Benoit TV movie series that they were trying to write, and in their version, instead of Chris Benoit's wife being a wrestler, she was a theoretical physicist, and she was raped by who's the black science guy? He was just on
fucking Tyson or
Neil deGrasse Tyson, who actually was just the reason why I even looked that up today is because Neil deGrasse Tyson was just on the Adam Friedland show, which is the new form of Cumtown. But so I looked up the Chris Benoit spread, especially because on the tweet about it, a bunch of people were like, "Oh, you guys gonna mention Chris Benoit to him and what Neil deGrasse Tyson did to his wife and all that shit." And there was also some other plot twist is that not only did Neil deGrasse Tyson rape Chris Benoit's wife back in the 70s before the word rape existed, and we don't even have a word for this yet, but also like there was like under a big curtain or something was a prototype that Neil deGrasse Tyson was working on, and the curtain gets pulled away to reveal the first ever Bowflex that Neil deGrasse Tyson was inventing.
He invented the Bowflex, and this is very important to sandwich in between scenes of implying that he is a rapist.
Yes,
it's sort of like Star 80, except that instead of the weird fucking domination bench, it's just a Bowflex.
Star 80, fucking wonderful reference. Fantastic movie.
You know, you're right. I did just make a really great... Who was it that directed that or wrote it?
Bob Fosse.
Oh, yeah.
The fucking musical choreographer.
I was trying to think, because like it was somebody who was already famous and who was not actually known for basically making like a fucking documentary about like a real-life murder.
Yeah, it's more like a biopic, I guess. But yeah, it was like a crime drama. And the movie, I think the movie he did just before that, was All That Jazz, which was like sort of borderline autobiographical in a way. Which that movie also actually is pretty decent. But yeah, Star 80 was just
It's been fantastic. A while since I saw Star 80, but I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's a really good movie.
Eric Roberts is such a great bad guy, and he's a great villain.
It's great. My favorite kinds of villains.
My favorite. Anyways, so the nightmarish legal rape begins.
But if we want to go over facial expression, again, the second panel, like there's a quiver on her mouth. There's like a hair shaking.
Yeah.
A shaky effect over the hair.
Yeah, that's right. There's just a few lines to make it look like she's trembling to where her hair is kind of trembling even. To
around
really help
neck,
sell
face, hair. And then there's like squiggly mouth.
And it's simple, but this is the point. This is what American comic book fans,
it's simple and
nerds
it's fun.
in American comics don't get.
It's simple and it's fun. You cannot do this in American comics because you'll be called a misogynist, rape apologist until the end of time.
Even by the supposedly anti-SJW, anti-woke.
The allegedly sex-positive feminists will be telling you how you are a rapist.
Or Comicsgate would also be.
Yes, also, in
not
particular,
would also
Comicsgate.
not would also already have in many circumstances.
Not even also. It would also implies that they're not also SJWs themselves.
Yes,
which they are.
Yeah, it's not too. Let's not draw some distinction where there actually isn't one in real life.
Yeah, they're SJW. They are shit libs.
But the important thing is that it is expressive. That is the only important thing. Adding detail to art that is not expressive and doesn't help communicate the events of the comic is worthless detail, and it's something only a bad artist does. If somebody does that, they are a bad artist. If you think bad artists don't do that, you don't actually have any understanding of the comics medium. There are a lot of people who read American comics who have no understanding of the medium that they supposedly are fans of.
You don't have to understand art to know what looks good and what doesn't look good.
Very simple.
And if you don't understand that, you don't have a soul.
And
you don't have a functional soul. But even then, even people without functional souls can identify what looks good, what doesn't look good.
But usually
you don't have to be able to enumerate why. But if you look at something like, say, Cyberfrog, and you say, that is good art, you are not just soulless, you're beneath soulless.
You're somewhere, because there's the NPC level, and then there's the sub-NPC, where you can't even rise to the level of an NPC.
It's like the stoner hip and cool and groovy and square, the four states of being a pothead.
But there's not really even a debate about it. It's the argument has already been won by us and lost by anyone who has ever disagreed with us.
There's no reason to even bring this up.
A long time ago.
We're bringing it up again anyway because I don't give a shit.
Because the truth always bears repeating, that's why.
I take satisfaction in making these people miserable because they deserve to be made miserable.
In their case, there would be no such thing as legal rape because as they are not actually people, it's not even rape.
It would be like raping. It's not even like bestiality. It would be like raping a rocking horse
or air.
Yeah, it's fucking.
There's just nothing there. It's not rape.
They're not alive.
You're alone in an empty room if you fucking just start thrusting. If your hips start moving on their own, just like Mel Gibson.
Just like Mel Gibson.
Why is he doing that? But if you were to do that, it wouldn't even have to be classified as either rape or legal rape.
It's not even sex.
Let's not turn this rape into a murder. But
also then, like, panel 3, the guy's face, he looks crazed. His face is detailed in the way to make him look like more sinister and hostile.
Yeah. So there's extra detail on his face to help really in a way the opposite of the cold distance of the guys in the first panel. It's the insane rape lust, legal rape lust that he has there. Or
it's not even that sinister though. It looks like he's really hyped up. He's really amped up.
He's hyped up to see her win. Even there's
one of the fucking pages. We'll get into the page later, but one of the last pages that I pasted to you was like something from the actual author. That's like, will she eventually go and do actual full-scale porn? I sure hope so. And it's like, that's the author saying this.
The own author. Yeah, well, I do have that open, so yeah.
I think there is definitely an element of that. It's kind of like Breaking Bad, where it's like, oh yeah, the whole drama is that he's breaking the law and he's he's going to die of cancer. But there's always that element of you want to see him make meth. You want to see him sell meth.
You want to see him triumph over these other annoying nerds.
You want to see Dexter kill people. You want to see Dexter hunt and kill killers.
It's you, Walter White. You're Breaking Bad.
Wait, what was the one recently? The fucking
You're the paranoia agent?
No, the fucking Breaking Bad, where it's like, this is about me. Oh yeah, it's when a Jewish person sees the most disgusting fictional creature.
Oh yeah, and then it's Walter White saying, "Oh my God, this is all about me."
It's like, why do Jews keep saying that? If this was in reply to something else about, like,
if I was a Jew, I would not say
orc. It was like an orc or something.
Yeah, like a Warhammer orcs or something, some shit.
Or it was like Warhammer Chaos, the fucking Slanesh or some shit. It's like, this is anti-Semitic. And it's like, how did this become about Jews?
Yeah, how did they decide to make it about themselves, and why?
I'm not even anti-Semitic. It's sort of like
But you
Windows
can't
Update.
not notice it anymore.
Yeah, no, it's they're turning me. It's like Windows updates. It's like Obama with Windows updates.
Yeah, they turned me racist. Thanks,
They
thanks
made
Obama.
me.
Thanks Windows.
I'm a racist. They made me a racist.
Just like the guy who they made racist.
By the way, final panel. The faces in shadow.
Yeah, most of the faces, in fact, just covered up to show that it's not really happening. It's like sort of the idea of what could happen, the stakes, establishing the stakes.
Yeah, they're very scary, and because there's 100 of them.
Scary.
So they have to be like way deep background. They're more scary. They're like demons, but she looks especially put up. She's very upset. It's like she's being very disgraced.
She's
and degraded.
She is displeased at this. So, anyways,
she's very degraded.
Anyways, so that wraps up this episode, of course.
Wonderful. Yeah, we got one more page, and we're finally past the cover page. We got one page.
We're fully justified in, especially with all the fucking. This is the in-depth analysis you never see from anyone else. Everyone else who reviews comics on the internet is not really capable of any of this. It's not a coincidence that you never see them even pick apart like the way a sound effect is drawn on just one panel of one page of one comic that's being reviewed.
I mean, it's a shame that we have to go back that far to be like, here's all the ways in which American comics fail at basic things.
Anyone should be able to do videos that we do.
Comic creation.
But none of them ever do. Why don't they? I don't know. Not my problem. Just like pouring cooking oil down the drain, not my problem.
Are they? Yeah. Is it? Are they mentally weak?
Yes. The answer
mentally
to that
weak,
is yes.
Intellectually weak, physically weak,
culturally inferior.
I could afford to build some.
They're like the Bajorans. We're the Cardassians, and they're the Bajorans. The rest of YouTube are Bajorans. Allah forgive me for saying that, for uttering that word, Bajoran.
Fucking Allah forgive me for saying this. They're Bajoran.
Yes.
They're even worse than a Jew or a woman.
Or a Pakled.
even worse than a Pakled.
Didn't know that was possible. Anyways, but yeah, so enjoy our.
We're going to continue milking this comic for more material.
Yeah, we may review this comic for months and months. I'm fine with that. Hey,
I mean, it's nice. It's nice having a comic that's good that we can talk about.
Or even
because
a comic
after all this Comicsgate shit,
yeah,
it's like an empty. It's looking into an empty bucket full of air, made of air.
It's even the bucket is made out of air. The bucket that wasn't, the chair that wasn't there. As the imaginary Metallica song goes.
My favorite Metallica song, it doesn't even exist.
From Saint Anger.
I'm sure it's from Saint Anger.
Yes, of course it would be.
My second favorite country rock band, Southern rock. My second favorite Southern rock band, Metallica.
Yeah. First favorite, of course, Skinner.
New Metallica, yeah, Leonard Skinner, and then new Metallica.
Anyways,
there. I need to piss.
All right, yeah. We anyone who wants to support us and see more of these reviews, more videos, more deep dives, all that kind of stuff, or to just support us in general, subscribe to our Subscribestar. You're supporting real original content by people who know and people who aren't lying to you for your fucking attention or money. We're telling you the truth for money, which I think, to be honest, kind of morally superior to everyone else on YouTube, pretty much. At least in the sector, as it's apparently called. Whatever. But yeah, so like, reshare, unshare, and should have listened to Shitty Webcomics.